I'm stoked for this because I've gone on her pod now a couple of times. She's good energy, as is her co-host, Brendan Kravitz, because I went on during the Nick Hawk series. And as you can see, I'm wearing my Knicks championship hat, so I'm still basking in the euphoria of this. And I just broke down the AFC East on their outstanding gambling pod, so I thought it was fair that she returned a favor. You can check her out. Favorites, Action Network. Check her out up in Boston. And before you jump down my throat on New York, she's a Florida gal, so she's not really a Massachusettsite. I'm not going to use the word that we use around here.
I am a masshole. It's
there
okay.
You can say it, not me, Kendra. I didn't want to get in trouble. Kendra Middleton. Thanks for joining us. What's happening?
Of course. I have grown to become a masshole. I kind of love the culture up here that is the masshole culture. People here are kind. They're not nice, and I enjoy that. They will give you the shirt off their back, but can I swear on here?
Yeah, of course you can.
They're gonna motherfuck you while they do it, and I appreciate that.
As someone that is not from the Northeast, where do you find more intense people? Because you come to visit New York from time to time. It's different. You're not living there. You're not in it every day. Where is there more intensity within the people? Up in Massachusetts or New York?
I think people are going to hate when I say this, but I'm going to say Massachusetts just because people from Mass are born and live in the Northeast.
No, I get that.
Like, they literally live and die here. My favorite thing that I think I've learned about people from Massachusetts is that they're born here, they go to college here, they vacation here on Cape Cod, and they die here. They don't go anywhere else. Whereas New Yorkers, for the most part, are transplants. And you kind of grow into that New York state of mind. You're not, like, there are people who are born into it, but for the most part, like, it's mostly people that move there.
Well, and that's the dynamic, Kendra, with Manhattan especially, where, like, Manhattan is a lot of people, like you're mentioning, living all across the country, moving to New York for work opportunities. And then when you get to the boroughs, like, my neighborhood now is Transplant City because I'm in Yuppieville. But, like, when I go back to Staten Island, it's that same dynamic. Or if you go to, like, Queens and the Bronx, it's the same dynamic. So I'm
totally just never spending a ton of time there. Like, if I'm in New York, I'm in Buffalo for a game, or I'm in New York City. Like, that's it. Or I'm in Jersey.
Buffalo. We have some thoughts on Buffalo, which we will get to. I buried a little bit. I'll start here because our audience, obviously, we have a bunch of Giant and Jet fans. I went on your show earlier today, and I am not a believer in the Jets because I'm not an Aaron Glenn guy. I'm not a Geno Smith guy. I have way too much PTSD from what I saw last year. I think Aaron Glenn is the worst coach in the league. That said, you think they might be better than advertised. So I think my audience is going to like to hear this. What's the case?
I think it's a New York year. I think that it is time for New York to bring back their sports culture. Obviously, the Knicks just won a title, and I think that they're going to get the city a little rallied up, get the city a little started. And if you're anything like me, athletes we know aren't just competitive, but they're competitive with each other. Like, you don't want to be the team in town that sucks, right?
That's the embarrassment. We've had way too much of that. That's the problem.
Exactly. And now that the Knicks are good, I think the other teams in town are going to be like, well, dang, I don't want all the attention to be on the Knicks. We should be a team that's being talked about right now, which I do think puts a little bit of pep in their step. I think that the AFC East in particular for the Jets, it's just, I think the Dolphins are going to be a lot worse than you do, which, trust me, I understand.
I think they're going to be bad. Let's just make something clear. I don't have the Dolphins going to the playoffs and winning 7 games. I think they're just going to win like 5 games or 4 games.
When the Jags had back-to-back first picks in the NFL draft, I was very much on the, oh, no, watch out. They're going to be better than people think they are. No, they weren't. I have seen bad football teams. I know bad football teams.
You and me both. I know it. Same.
I know what it's like to hurt, but I think New York is on a little bit of the come up. The quarterback question for the Jets is definitely clearly the issue here. They had some problems with turnovers last year, but defensive head coach, hopefully that can turn around a little bit. They don't get as injured as they did last year. And maybe we see that, old school, good defense, and you run the ball, and it gets you more wins than people expect.
And the Vegas total's 5.5, so it's obviously a low bar. And they did add in the offseason. I'll give you that. Okay, you have a choice now. Jet future, Giant future. And you can take this any which way you want. You can go over, under. You can give me a prop. You can give me MVP bet. I'm literally giving you an open forum here. The 2 New York teams. If there's a favorite play, what is it?
Okay, so before the Harbaugh hire, I got in on the Jets 7.5 over, or on the Giants 7.5 over. So I know that that's not available anymore, but just know that I'm backing the Giants. That number has since moved. I don't know if I love, from a health perspective, adding an extra game to the total. So I probably wouldn't touch that. But if you're looking for something between the two, I think the Giants are the obvious play here.
Okay, so this is before they hired John Harbaugh. You're thinking, okay, team that can go and improve. I'm with you. The problem is, Kendra, the division's really good. Eagles are
They are.
loaded. I'm big on the Cowboys this year. I love the Cowboys.
I'm big on the Cowboys, not big on the Eagles.
I agree with that. I think Dallas wins the division. I think
too.
Dak is worth an MVP look.
Me
Washington's
too.
the impossible team to figure out because if Daniels is really good, they could burn you. And if he doesn't play, they could be one of the worst teams in the league.
So my issue with the Commanders is I think Dan Quinn is going to turn back into a pumpkin sooner rather than later. That is my issue, is that I think that Dan Quinn is a dummy and got to hide behind a really good rookie year from Jaden. And to be honest, like, okay, you and I chronically online. There's no way you can tell me that young athletes are also not chronically online. Jaden Daniels is being memed into absolute oblivion right now, and deservedly so. If you're a grown-ass man, your mom does not need to be in charge of your life. I love him. I don't know if you watched Quarterback on Netflix. Very big fan of Jaden Daniels.
Didn't see the latest one with him. I saw the one with Goff, whatever the one Goff and Kirk Cousins was in. I watched. I didn't watch
Get your mom the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
get your
you
mom
can't be doing
out
that
of
as
your
a quarterback.
relationship. Get your mom out of your career. Get your mom out of your business. You are a grown man, okay? And I love my mom as much as the next person, but I'm sorry, it was not Jaden Daniels sending a cease and desist to Louisiana State University. It was his mother. Let's be very clear about that. And if you watch the Quarterback documentary on Netflix, you know that to be true. But anytime that you are being absolutely drug online, you've been online long enough to have been canceled for something at some point. How much does that affect your mental health and your ability to do your job? A lot. It doesn't matter if you are the type of person who is chronically online and used to these types of things. You can't tell me that there's no way it doesn't affect your mental, especially when you're young and kind of new at this. The Department of Homeland Security is making fun of him right now.
Tough.
Yeah.
So basically, buyer beware for you with Washington. No thanks. You're not going to.
Yeah, like it's the Dan Quinn angle. It's a lot of it. I would love to love them, but in a tough division. And that's the thing about betting, right? Like, if betting was easy, everyone would do the cookie cutter obvious answer, but you got to kind of pick and choose your places to take risks. And right now, that division is a place I'm willing to take a risk in, that I think it's going to be one of these situations where right quarterback, but you're going to have to fire the coach to be able to make the most out of the young quarterback at some point.
Okay, I'm on FanDuel right now. Giants 8+ wins. Plus 100. Seems like you'd say, go grab it.
That is the best play in the division, in my opinion, unless we want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, would you get frisky and bet the Giants to make the playoffs?
No, because I worry about the health of Scatabo and Jackson Dart, especially after I watched him get clocked. And I'm sorry, another thing that I'm going to say here, how are you shocked that you are constantly in the blue tent when you put yourself out on the clothesline like that?
So last year, Kendra, last year you're 1,000% right. It's totally fair. This hit in particular, though, like watching it, this was not him like running around like a lunatic. Like, dude, he was in the pocket. The guy missed the block. It was like a very basic football play. I watched it live. I didn't think it was medical tent worthy.
No, it just was that it was slow to get up. He hadn't been hit in a while by somebody that wasn't one of his teammates, and I think that he forgot what it felt like, and he laid there for a little too long for them to not be able to be like, hey, you got to go get at least checked out. You laid there for too long.
I get that. And when you have a reputation, that's something he's going to have to shake, and he's got to find a way to go play 16, 17 games.
Here's the other thing. It's not just an independent issue anymore. Like, look at the doctor that was in charge of Tua. It now calls doctors' integrity into question when you at least don't do the precautionary move. And I think that that's all that it was precautionary. He got clocked. He got lit up. He laid there for a second too long. And in that situation, the doctor has to do his job, the doctor has to step in, and the doctor has to make sure that he is crossing his T's and dotting his I's. And I think that that's all we saw here. He can be mad and be offended all he wants, but when you have a history and you're a quarterback and you don't immediately pop up, that's just what people have to know now. Like, it's not a new instance where people are protecting themselves from any kind of concussion protocol. Like, we've seen that through the entirety of time with football, is that, when you get hit, you stand up immediately. That way there's not even a question about it. And unfortunately, it's just going to be a new tactic of hiding whether you have a brain injury or not now, which I don't think is the right thing, but that's just the reality of where we are.
Okay, you do radio shows in Boston.
I do.
What team do you enjoy talking about the most? Red Sox, Patriots, Celtics. What gets it? I know football's king and queen. I get it, but is there one for you where you get a little more hype talking about one compared to the other two?
Okay, so for me,
I didn't even throw the Bruins in there, and I'm sorry about that.
I was going to say the Bruins are my favorite, but the way that I rank this is by the fans I enjoy interacting with the most. Yes. Which fans do I want to call in? Which fans do I enjoy the most? So I have a fan hierarchy in town, and Bruins fans are my S tier. Bruins fans fucking rule. Yeah. I love Bruins fans. I was not a Bruins fan when I came to town. I will be leaving a Bruins fan. I love you guys. I would say my second favorite would be Patriots fans, and then I equally hate Celtics and Red Sox fans.
Ooh,
but
okay.
I hate them. I hate you guys.
Just too much complaining? Is that the issue?
Celtics fans are like Gen Z pussies, and Red Sox fans are like old people and think that we're still in the Babe Ruth era of baseball. So completely opposite ends of the spectrum, and I hate both ends.
This is so fascinating to me on so many different levels because I don't do a show in Boston and you did not grow up in the area. So you have this unique perspective of okay, this is what's in front of me. This is how I react to it. And this is where I go. Now, on that subject, are you going to piss off a good quotient of your audience by not picking the Patriots to win the AFC East, or are you going to actually make them happy?
I think that it is the Patriots to lose. And we went over this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went over this on my show. For some reason, there is just, and I hate to bring up vibes and juju, but that is a lot of what it is. For some reason, the city of Boston, football-wise, seems to be God's favorite, and the city of Buffalo seems to be God's least favorite. And now they have this fuck-ass stadium and these stupid uniforms, and it continues to feel like there is just rain on the Bills' parade. As much as I hate their fans, it has nothing to do with that. It just, their schedule is not favorable, especially in comparison to the Patriots. I think that the Bills are better on paper, but I don't think that Josh Allen elevates receivers the same way that Drake May is already doing. He had nothing on an offensive line last year and nothing for weapons outside of Stephon Diggs, and he made it to a Super Bowl. So for me, it's more so just on paper, the Bills feel like every single season it is theirs to lose, and they have a new head coach, and that's also a concern for me. At least with Mike Vrabel last year, he wasn't a new head coach for the first time. It was just his first time head coaching the New England Patriots, which he obviously had a lot of familiarity there as well because he used to play here. But it just continues to feel like something is pointing against the Buffalo Bills, and for me, it's a new head coach and their schedule.
Did you have a field day with the Vrabel Rossini stuff? I feel like you could have done months of shows on this.
I could still talk about this right now if we wanted to, for hours.
Are we in agreement that this won't be much of an issue for the Patriots this season?
I don't think it's going to be much of an issue for the Patriots unless something else comes out. And I'm very much in the camp that I think someone around them or close to them is who wound up leaking this 100%.
Story. Has to be.
Yeah. And so I think it's just going to depend. The fact that there is allegedly not going to be, let me tell you this. The way that this will interfere with this season is if the draft picks that they made are all flops because he missed a day of the draft to be with his family. I think that that's the only way that this conversation continues is if every single one of their rookies looks like ass.
high expectations too. I think if you're 4-1 to start the year, your audience doesn't give too much of a you know what. I think if
No, and
they're
like
1-4, then all of a sudden it just adds to the laundry list, you know?
but like that's the thing here. Something that I've learned about this city is it doesn't matter if you're blowing it up and starting over. The expectation is a championship. Like it literally does. Even with the Bruins right now, they are clearly in a rebuild, and the expectation here is championship or bust. And I think when you have a fan base that is so highly educated in comparison to other fan bases about sports, there's just a lot of extra pressure here. Like, this is a city of champions. And I hate that saying, but it's true. People here, because the teams have always been good for the last 30 years for the most part, there hasn't been a dip in a team that I can point to specifically that I'm like, yeah, they really have been, the ass end of this city sports wise. I think the people are smart. People know the teams. They know the schedules. They know the other players. I think that adds the extra layer of expectation here, is that people are used to championships and they know how the games operate. So they pour that into the team and their fandom. And I think that's a double-edged sword.
Okay, you can take this any which way you want. I know you're giving these out like literally every week when you and Brandon are doing your show. Give me like one or two other favorite. Like, they don't have to be in the AFCs, they don't have to be in the NFCs, but like favorite bets that you have for the NFL season that the audience got to tell you on.
I have 7 futures logged in the app right now.
That's great, but you got to have a favorite. I know you do. I know you have at least one or two favorites.
I gave my favorite play for the entire season out earlier with you, so I won't count this, but just for your audience, before this number changes, Drake May over 3.5 rushing touchdowns is plus 105 right now.
I love it.
Insane. That's my favorite play of the entire season. I would say if you're looking for some real value, Detroit to win the NFC North plus 170, I really like. I think that's going to be a division that just beats up on each other, but because the continuity that they have on their roster, I don't think that they're going to win a Super Bowl. I don't even know if they win a playoff game, but I think that they win the North because they have
I like that, and they're going to win a ton of games too. Schedule's super soft.
Yep, agree. Easiest schedule in the NFL, in my opinion. And then I would say my second favorite is going to be the Rams under 11.5 wins. I really think that the Rams are getting way too hyped up right now, and I love the roster. Outside of Puka Nacua, I think everybody is pretty much a likable guy on the roster. My issue with them is everything relies on Matt Stafford's health. And that back is not getting any better. It hasn't been getting any better. And I don't care what receivers he has or running backs to take any pressure off of him. If he takes one bad hit, he's another year older. He's got another postseason under his belt. That's a lot of games. We saw this with the Kansas City Chiefs a couple of years ago when their roster was aging. And honestly, we saw it last year with the way that they fell off. Too many postseason games, too many games on the body, too many extra games on the body. And as much as I love Matt Stafford, that back is not getting any better, and he's another year older now. I don't know if he can survive not only that division, but the longevity of this season.
I'm totally on board with all of these, by the way. Now, you mentioned this when I did your pod earlier, and I feel like I may have to put a poll question on this pod when we post it, because I'm like curious to see what people think would be the most crazy. So you went to Buffalo. And we know there are a bunch of crazy people up there. You funneled the beer, prosthetic leg, confirmed.
Yes.
Got thrown through a table, which, by the way, would break every bone in my body. 6'1", 150-something. Every bone in the body would be broken.
Oh, my God. You're only 150?
158, if we can even score. I'm a skinny guy. What can I say? I can't gain weight. I run. This is coming from somebody who cannot run now for like the last 6 weeks because I crashed into a wall. I know if you're keeping count on the pod, how many times I've referenced this foot injury from SOY softball. I know it's been a while. You
are a skinny guy. I'm 5'7", like 135, but I'm a weightlifter.
Yeah, but you'd kick my ass though. That's the thing. I beat you in a race.
You have a black belt, yes.
Yeah, you would kick my ass, but you couldn't catch. I don't think you could catch me though.
No, I'm a distance galley.
Well, I'm same. Well, not distance guy, but you get the point. Like, that's usually my thing, but I can sprint.
You'd have to get a good head start because I could chase you for a long time.
I smell a competition, but
should we have a combine?
Maybe in February. We're trained to get the indoor gyms in Boston, New York. We'll track times. of the craziest, the tattoo, you have tattoos though. So for me, that's probably not the craziest. Although some people would say, hey, not going to their guy or gal and just YOLO doing it in the Buffalo parking lot is the craziest thing. I think it's going through the table though, Kendra. That's me.
I have a tattoo on the bottom of my foot, so I feel like getting a tattoo in a bus in Buffalo is really not that crazy.
No, for you, and you have multiple tattoos, so that's nothing.
Yeah. I honestly think it's the prosthetic leg because, like, I feel like you could get sick out of that.
Maybe, but like, it's just another
Sweaty
source
prosthetic
of,
leg beer.
Not really. I'm not particularly inclined to do this. I would probably need like one of those hand sanitizing wipes before I do it. And you're not thinking about that when you're in a tailgate.
I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I'm not bothered by that.
I understand. But I think the table aspect of this, just, you got to be a little fearless, dude.
It's really not that bad. I think I really, it's not that.
Do you have a desire but do you have a desire to do it again?
Yeah.
Oh, you're out of your mind, dude. No way. No
Honestly,
way.
I hate that they have
how many drinks deep do you have to be to, like, you're stone cold sober right now doing this interview, so this has nothing to do with having alcohol in your system.
No.
But you're a little bit of a daredevil then, clearly.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Okay. I've like jumped out of planes, whole bit.
That's crazier than the table, but okay.
Traveled Africa with me and another girl. Like I would say the next thing on my bucket list, I hate that they have so many like cool things that they do because I hate their fans. I want to be the guy that they throw mustard at.
Okay.
I love the mustard guy. I would love that too much.
We need a reality show based upon you. I feel like this is worth the price of admission. Final one. Are you excited to talk about Cam Schlittler, Mr. Massachusetts? I love the dynamic that he grew up there. Probably wanted to be a Red Sox. Doesn't get drafted by the Red Sox. Gets drafted by the Yankees. Goes and pitches this insane playoff game against them. Gets to go home, talk all sorts of shit, and now is like the best pitcher in the American League. Like, that's like a storyline that's like ready made to order because like his whole town is like ready to kill him. I love this.
I have something so controversial to say on so many fronts. I am not
into this. Parting thought. This is the way you leave a show, by the way. Keep on.
I am not into athletes at all. Like, they're truly not, for me, not my type. I much prefer like the nerd in private equity. However, I think he is so handsome and so funny. And I love Boston. Don't get me wrong. Hate the Yankees. They're my least favorite entity in all of sports. But I have a crush on Schlittler.
Well, you're not alone because I was at the All-Star game. And he does his media and it's like batting practice. And Kendra, there are like 6 or 7 good-looking gals all surrounding
I'm
him.
Sure.
They're like, and I'm like, I was like, not around any of the other guys. They're all around Cam Schlittler. So Cody Bellinger was asked about this. They're like, who would be the most likely guy? You brought it up because I didn't know any of the people on Love Island. You brought it up on your pod earlier. I was like, I know of the show. I don't know any of the characters. Bellinger's like, yeah, he'd be good on Love Island. So
yeah,
maybe there's a match here. Maybe there's a match.
The 2 athletes that would be my hall pass if I saw them on Raya would be him and Joe Burrow. Those are the 2 I'd swipe right on.
Joe Burrow's a stud. He's taking at the moment. He's taking at the moment. But
is he though? He does not like that girl. I'm sorry.
The Sports Illustrated girl, Olivia, whatever her name is.
He does not give a fuck about her. Like, you don't hold her hand when you guys are being photographed by paparazzi or when you're on red carpets. She's either 10 feet in front.
I've seen them walk separately.
Yes, you're either 10 feet in front of her, she's 10 feet behind you. I don't know if it's like some weird like she survived a robbery at my house, so I feel loyal to this girl type of thing. But like, he clearly doesn't care about her.
Might be onto something there. I bet him to win MVP. I love Joe, but he's my favorite If you ask me right now who could play quarterback for the Dolphins, that's the guy I'd want playing quarterback for them. I love him.
I've said this on so many shows and I'm going to keep saying it. So when this happens, everybody can look back at me. When Matt Stafford retires, he's going to LA.
You think he wants the bright lights?
Joe Cool in LA? Are you kidding? That's the only way. His entire thing with the Bengals has been he's not having fun playing football. You know how you have fun playing football and like where you live, you get the fuck out of Ohio and you go to LA where that Olivia Ponton girl is a dime a dozen. That's what you do.
Kendra Middleton, favorites, Sports Hub. Superstar, thank you for a few minutes.
Of course.
And get ready. Yankees Red Sox is happening in like early October. So that'll be good material.
Yeah, are you
for
coming up here?
No, well, you guys are going to be coming to the Yankees.
Oh, is
are
it,
done.
is it there?
How stupid is this? The schedule makers in baseball should be ashamed. How are the Yankees done at Fenway Park over the final 2 months of the year? Done.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And it's going to, unless the Yankees tank down the stretch, it's probably the right. It's you are going to have to come here. That's probably how it's going to go.
You know, maybe they really actually know more than we do, because with the way the Red Sox have turned their season around, what kind of better battle for them viewership-wise than both of these teams playing late in the season in New York?
It'll be fun. Couple weeks. Buckle up. Keep up the good work. Thanks for a few minutes. We'll talk
Of course.
later.